Good morning to all. Welcome to Bishnupriya's Chemistry blog channel. Today's topic is requirement of ISO IEC 17025. What is ISO IEC 17025 and its requirement and why it is needed? We'll discuss in this topic. Okay, so without delay, let's start the topic. Okay, first we have to understand what is ISO and IEC. Now, ISO means International Organization for Standardization. And what is IEC? IEC is the International Electrotechnical Commission. So, friends, for set up a testing laboratory or calibration laboratory, we have to follow some certain rules and regulation and a standard. So, and the standard is ISO IEC 17025. According to this, we have to prepare our document. The ISO IEC 17025 standard, it contains a general requirement for the competency of testing and calibration laboratory. It is the international standard for testing and calibration laboratory. It sets out the requirement for the competency, impartiality, and consistent operation of the laboratory, ensuring the accuracy and reliability of the testing and calibration result. In short, it is the Bible of the laboratory. So, according to this, we have to prepare all our documents. Okay. Then come to the principle. What is its principle? The ISO 17025 principle describes the essential guidelines and requirement for testing and calibration laboratory competency, impartiality, and consistency. So, it is crucial to understand the principle of ISO 17025 to ensure that laboratory operate with the highest quality and reliability and integrity. Okay. So, this ISO IEC 17025 standard has 8 clause, 2 annexer and a bibliographic section. The first clause is scope. It covers the technical activities of a laboratory as well as management and organizational aspect of performing those activities. And the clause 2 is normative reference. And what is normative reference section of the ISO IEC 17025 standards? It lists the documents that are referred in a text and are considered requirement of the standard. And some normative reference for ISO IEC 27025. It includes ISO IEC Guide 99, which provides general concept and terms, and ISO IEC 17000 specifics, vocabulary, and general principle for the conformity. And class 3 is terms and definition, which contains 9 subclasses: 3.1 impartiality, 3.2 complaint, 3.2 interlaboratory comparison, 3.2 intra-laboratory comparison, proficiency testing, laboratory decision rule, verification, and validation. Then class 4 is general requirement, which include impartiality and confidentiality. Class 5 is technical requirement. It is mostly based on the ISO Guide 25. Class 6 is resource requirement, which is also 6 sub-clauses, which include 6.1 general, 6.2 personnel, 6.3 facilities of environmental condition, 6.4 equipment, 6.5 meteorological traceability, and 6.6 externally provided product and services. And class 7 is process requirement. Class 8 is management system requirement, which including quality procedure and annexer on meteorological traceability and annexer to explanation on integrating an ISO 9001 management system. Okay, in today's topic, we will discuss about the general requirement, which is clause 4. And clause 4 also contains 2 subclauses: 4.1 impartiality and 4.2 confidentiality. And that 4.1 contains also 5 subclauses, which is 4.1.1 That means laboratory activities shall be undertaken impartiality and structured and managed so as to safeguard impartiality. And 4.1.2 means the laboratory management shall be committed to impartiality. And 4.1.3 means the laboratory shall be responsible for the impartiality of its laboratory activity and shall not allow any commercial, financial and other pressure to compromise impartiality. And 4.1.4 includes the laboratory shall identify the risks to its impartiality on an ongoing basis. This shall be include those risks that arise from its activity or from its relationship or from the relationship of its personnel. However, such relationships do not necessarily present a laboratory with risks to impartiality. What does it mean? It means a relationship that threatens the impartiality of laboratory can be based on ownership, governance, management personnel, shared resources, finances, contract and marketing, including branding and payment, sales commission or other investment for the referral of new customers, etc. And 4.1.5 means if a risk to impartiality is identified, the laboratory is able to demonstrate how it is eliminate or minimize such risks. In short, the summary of the 4.1 impartiality is a major clause of the ISO IEC 17025. This clause addresses the risks associated with creating biased results. Under no circumstances the lab is allowed to let conflict or interest impact its result, and the lab must be committed to risk-based thinking when addressing impartiality. In essence, there must not be conflict of interest regarding the following: commercial interest, financial interest, relationship interest, and the laboratory must identify the risks to impartiality from activities, relationship and personal relationship. So laboratory should be impartiality. Okay. Then come to confidentiality. Class number 4 general requirements of class 4.2 confidentiality. It also contains two subclasses 4.2.1. The laboratory shall be responsible through legally enforceable commitment for the management of all information obtained or created during the performance of the laboratory activities. The laboratory shall inform the customer in advance of the information intended to place in the public domain, except for information that the customer makes public available when agreed between the laboratory and the customer. Example, for the purpose of responding to complaint, all other information is considered proprietary information shall be regarded as confidential. So the laboratory must maintain confidentiality. Then come to subclass 4.2.2. And when the laboratory is required by the law or authorized by contractual arrangement to release a confidential information, the customer individual concerned shall, unless prohibited by the law, notified to the information provided. Then come to the 4.2.3. Information about the customer obtained from source or other than customer, example complaint or regulator, shall be confidential between the customer and the laboratory. The provider source and the information shall be confidential to the laboratory and shall not be shared with the customer unless agreed by the source. Then come to 4.2.4. Personnel, including any committed members, contractor or personal or external bodies, individual acting on the laboratory behalf, shall keep the confidential information obtained or created during the performance of the laboratory activity except as required by law. So the summary of this clause is class 4.2 ISO IEC 17025/2017 discuss the requirement involving confidentiality. So laboratory must maintain confidential. The lab is responsible for the management of all the information obtained or created during the laboratory activity and is held responsible by legal enforcement. The standard requires that lab must inform its customer in advance what information intends to share with the people. So understand the laboratory in the general requirement of class 4, which includes two subclass impartially and confidentially. The lab must maintain impartiality and confidentiality, and according to this, the lab must maintain its document for audit purpose. Okay, then furthermore, it address the action it will be take if confidential information is released into the public. Confidential requirement also encompasses laboratory personnel. In general, the laboratory and its personnel are responsible for the information obtained or created during the performance of the laboratory activities, and all the information is considered proprietary information and shall be regarded as confidential with expansion to what is required by the law. Okay, so the lab must maintain impartiality and confidentiality. And the next class and the all other class we will discuss in my another video. Okay, thank you.